So several people have asked me recently, why do rich and famous people kill themselves? Don't they have the world by its tail? Fame, fortune, success, don't they have it all? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer that question. Plus, I'm going to ask an even more important question, a question that may be critical to your own financial well-being. Coming up. Hey, I'm Dr. Brad Klontz. On this channel, we look at the best strategies to help you transform your relationship with money, master the psychology of wealth, and live a life of abundance. So check out the links and the resources in the show notes below, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now let's get started. So why do rich and famous people, people who seem to have it all, why would they kill themselves? Now I promise I'm going to get to that question, but first I'm going to ask you a more important question. Why are we asking that question to begin with? And be honest. Do we think that rich people don't get depressed? Do we think rich people have nothing to be depressed about? Do we think that they have no excuse because they can afford all the help they need and they have all the resources they need? At our core, do we think that money should solve all their problems? Beliefs like more money will make me happier and money buys freedom are what we call money worship scripts. They're distorted. And our studies show that the stronger you believe them, the more likely you are to have less money and poor financial health. These beliefs are also associated with money avoidance scripts. Beliefs like most rich people don't deserve their money, they take their money for granted, and that money corrupts. So in a sense, deep down, many of us both resent rich people, yet desperately want to become one. So I strongly recommend that you think about why you might be surprised that a rich person could be unhappy, or why you might think that they have no right to be unhappy. People who believe that money will buy happiness are at great risk of living above their means or destroying their lives by sacrificing what really matters most in the pursuit of money. While chasing status or money, many people neglect their relationships, miss out on valuable time with their children, and even compromise their own health, which in the end, even if they achieve their goals, can leave them feeling empty and alone. Money won't give you what you need to be happy. So back to our question, why do rich people kill themselves? First, it's important to know that despite the media attention around these very notable figures, suicide rates are significantly higher for people who are unemployed, have less education, and have lower socioeconomic status. The tragic truth is that economically disadvantaged people kill themselves in much greater numbers. Poverty comes at a huge physical and psychological cost. However, when a poor person kills him or herself, it doesn't make the news. So the perception that rich people do it more frequently is not surprising, but the opposite is true by a very significant margin. Also, if you're depressed when you're poor, you're very likely to be depressed if you come into a bunch of money. Now, it can be hard to believe this, but it's true. In fact, getting rich can make your depression even worse. Now, many people will be tempted to laugh off what I just said. They cling to the belief that more money will solve their problems and give them happiness ever after. The truth, though, is that poor people should strive to be middle class. That's where the link between money and happiness fades away. So money does bring happiness, but this link disappears once your basic needs are met. Also, if you believe that fame and fortune will bring you happiness and you pursue it with everything you've got, one of the worst things that can happen to you is to achieve it. Say what? Now this is so important, I'm going to say it again. If you believe that fame and fortune will bring you happiness and you pursue it with everything you've got, one of the worst things that can happen to you is to actually achieve it. When you do, you're very likely to lose your sense of meaning and purpose and get depressed when you realize that you are still you. And the money and the fame did nothing to magically give your life meaning or erase your existential struggles. Now, it's certainly true that if you were to win the lottery tomorrow, you would be happy. But that initial sense of elation will fade away. And many people who come into money that quickly end up experiencing major stress, and many slip into depression. When you spend your life believing that money will change you, and you get money, and you're still you, it stings. It can be very discouraging if you believe in the Wizard of Oz your whole life and you pursue it, and then you finally look behind the curtain and realize, well, there is no wizard. There can be massive psychological benefits in maintaining an idealized fantasy, even if it's a fallacy. And we can be devastated if we attain the goal and see that it didn't give us what we believed it would, especially if achieving that goal came at great emotional cost to us. For this reason, it's quite common for highly successful people, especially when that success and money comes fast, to feel isolated, lost, and struggle to find purpose in their lives. We see this firsthand with many clients, people who have dedicated their entire lives to music, sport, or business, and have catapulted to wealth, be it an investment, a contract, or a buyout. After a few months, it's not uncommon to feel lost and aimless, to feel separated from family and friends who may see you differently now, and to slip into depression. On a final note, it's human nature to dehumanize people from different socioeconomic classes. Research has shown that wealthier people tend to have less empathy for others, and that many poorer people tend to disparage rich people and hold them to a different standard. One of the primary reasons people kill themselves is that they feel isolated and disconnected. And how isolating it must feel to believe that if you were honest about the depth of pain you were experiencing, that people might judge you or laugh at you or otherwise think you have no right to be in pain. If you were convinced that money was supposed to bring you happiness, you might also judge yourself harshly and think you have no right to be unhappy. Unfortunately, there continues to be a stigma around mental illness, which can make seeking help difficult for anyone. This can be made even more challenging if your private pain is in danger of being public news. When it comes down to it, pain is pain, and if you find yourself wondering why a rich and famous person would be depressed, or if you were in disbelief about the suicide of a celebrity who seemed to have it all, take a moment to think about your own beliefs around money and how they impact your life. In the end, money and status won't give you what you need to be happy. If they're byproducts of following your passion, then great. There's nothing wrong with success, and I certainly want it for you. Don't believe that money is going to bring you that happiness that has always escaped you. Because if you do, you're likely to find yourself quite disappointed. And the good news is, you can experience happiness, real happiness, at every step along your journey. Special thanks to Hyder College of Business at Creighton University for helping sponsor this channel. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please subscribe. And hey, make sure to check out the show notes below for links and resources. See you next time.